Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. First of all, how you guys doing, right? Hey, look, there's been a lot of back and forth between boxing fans, some back and forth, really kind of one-sided coming from Devin Haney's camp when it comes to this fight between Devin the Dream Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, just to get this out the way, I'll say this. It's a tough fight, but I think it really boils down to, is Devin Haney really ready for Lomachenko, or is Lomachenko ready for Devin Haney? And whoever's not ready for the other one is the person who's going to lose this fight. I always say in boxing, the best fighter doesn't win. It's the boxer who fights the best on that night. And out of these two, we're going to have differing opinions. But if you ask me who's the best boxer, I'm going to tell you Lomachenko. Okay? And I don't think there's any argument there. But who's the better boxer? Very simple. Okay? But it's just not that easy to say, because I feel Lomachenko's a better boxer than Haney, that I think Lomachenko's just going to go on and it's going to be easy. It's going to be a difficult fight. But let's just look at this. Let's forget about the Linares with Devin Haney and Lomachenko, and how Linares, if he had 10 more seconds in that round, Devin Haney would have got knocked out. Cold. Okay? So I don't think if anyone wants to argue that, you got too much time on your hands, right? If there were 10 more seconds in whatever round that was where Linares touched Haney, he would have knocked him out cold. Okay? Because he was in the clouds. But it didn't happen, so it is what it is. But we saw Devin come back and continue what he had been doing the whole fight, which is boxing, masterfully, okay? We saw Lomachenko pretty much having his way with Linares, got caught with a straight right, got up, and stopped Linares. So that tells you a lot about Lomachenko, nothing we didn't know. But let's forget about that fight. Then you had Jojo Diaz. Lomachenko didn't fight Jojo Diaz, okay? So we don't have a good measuring stick between the two. But what we can do is say, you know what? Let's look at their last opponents. And let's ask the question. Did Kambosos prepare Devin Haney for Lomachenko? Did Jermaine Ortiz prepare Lomachenko for Devin Haney? Now, when I look at it like that, I have to say, if anyone was in a fight, in their last fight, was in a kind of fight that could really prepare them for what they're going to face when they get in that ring this weekend, I think Lomachenko. Lomachenko had that type of opposition to really prepare him for Devin Haney. Now, we know Devin Haney is a really skillful boxer. He's got a 71-inch reach. He stands at 5'8". Lomachenko's like 5'7". I didn't realize they were so close in height. Just Lomachenko's reach is 65. But with Jermaine Ortiz, he was having huge success early in that fight against Lomachenko. Just doing some outstanding boxing, being aggressive, and being intelligent. Now, the thing that gave Ortiz the advantage, in my opinion, is Lomachenko had coming off of fighting for his country, a lot of ring rust, and the fact that he was fighting a guy who's much bigger. Remember, Lomachenko is not Manny Pacquiao. And that's something people need to understand. Lomachenko really should be floating around 126 pounds. He's not going up past 135 pounds. He really doesn't belong at a 135. But he has that kind of skill set to where he can get to 135, and he may be able to go to 140 and win a title at 140 because of his skill set. But he knows what his threshold is. And he knows he shouldn't go up beyond 135 because it's just hard. But the fact that he was able to get in there with a guy like Jermaine Ortiz, who really should be fighting at probably 147 as well, right? And was able to handle him the way he did. When Lomachenko decided to kick things in gear and take it up to a level, you always hear people say, oh man, there's levels in boxing. Name another boxer outside of Lomachenko who has shown they can kick things into gear and take it to another level. Terrence Crawford has, right? Floyd Mayweather used to. Where you just see the plan A, B, C, and D, the layers to their game, the guys who can do everything. Lomachenko. You got to give him credit for that. And I'm going to say the fact that he came in after such a long layoff, fought an extremely tough opponent. Nobody wants to fight Jermaine Ortiz, and was able to come and win that fight. I've heard some people say, well, they feel that was a draw. They feel Ortiz won. Ortiz didn't win that fight. Lomachenko did what he had. He did what he was supposed to do. He won the fight. But it was a competitive fight. That being said, that is the kind of preparation Lomachenko needed, coming back 135 and getting ready now to fight for this undisputed distinction against Devin Haney. Devin Haney's not super aggressive. Devin Haney's not. I'm going to say this, right? I don't think he's as strong as Ortiz. Okay? But what I will say with Devin Haney, I think there's a bit more skill there. And what I mean by that is in discipline, where Devin Haney isn't worried about the audience. He learned his lesson from the Linares fight. He learned his lesson from the Jojo Diaz fight. He said, you know what, man, I got in here trying to show people that I can crack. He was worried about it, what people thought about him. Remember, he asked Linares after the fight. Linares barely speaking English. He like, do I have power? Did you rate my power? What was my power like? What was my power compared to, I think he said Lomachenko or someone else he was asking to compare the power. It's like Linares was kind of looking at him like, man, get your ass out of here. You want to ask me these dumb questions? But he entertained him and told him that he had, he felt his punches. But I think after that, Devin Haney realized I need to stop trying to hold my ground and prove to people that I have power. Because I'm in here with guys, and although I do have some power, they have more power. And my power can buzz you. Their power can tranquilize me. And that's where, he saw him got in the ring with Kambosos and stayed disciplined. Now, what are some things Kambosos did that were pretty good that helped Devin Haney? I'm going to tell you, some of the things that he did that were good, I think he was trying to switch stances. He actually had really fast hands. He was able to counter him at times, and he had really good stamina. But Kambosos is not at all Lomachenko, okay? He is not Lomachenko, nothing like Lomachenko, will never ever be anything close to what Lomachenko is, all right? So let's just put that into perspective. Now, with the two of them getting in the ring, if you ask me, what do I anticipate happening in that fight? I think the first couple rounds, I think Devin Haney comes in. He works discipline behind his jab. He's going to clinch at some point. But I think what he's going to realize quick is Lomachenko, the 2 gold medals, the over 400 amateur fights with only 1 loss, 17 wins as a professional, 2 losses, right? I think 11 KOs or something like that, 9 KOs, whatever. He's going to realize that he's up against something that he's never, ever been against, nothing he could have anticipated. And I'm not biased to Lomachenko or Haney. Who or what has Devin Haney faced as an amateur or pro that's anything like this species of a boxer in Lomachenko? That's the question I'm asking. It's a fair question. Doesn't matter if you're pro Haney or not. All right? Just answer that. Who has Devin Haney faced as an amateur or professional that is a species, anything close to Lomachenko? Okay? That's the question. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't exist. Now we can sit there and take a look at Lomachenko, and we can say, what kind of boxers has he faced, and if any, from the time he was an amateur to a professional, right? What kind of species of a boxer has he faced that was anything like Devin Haney? And I'd have to say, out of 400 amateur fights, there had to have been at least 1. Someone who's going to come in and who's taller, longer, right? Who's going to use that jab, who's going to try to throw the right hand, who may try to clinch. You know what I'm saying? Who may try to throw a lead left hook. He doesn't really throw a check left hook. Who's going to come and try to bump you, maybe throw a pop shot, you can get the right hand off. But I'm going to tell you right now, when it comes to Lomachenko, it's, hold on one second.
Just leave it there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not editing the video. There was one of those little chameleons, whatever. My wife, kids came in the house with my 5-year-old, and they were freaking out. Like, let me show you. You see, you look out those doors, right? They're right there. I'm doing this video, and they're over there trying not to make noise, but they're scared as hell because a little gecko came in the house when they opened the door, and she had a goddamn Tupperware dish and a little cutting board trying to catch it. Look, I mean, it was just distracting the shit out of me. So I said, let me get off of here and go catch it. So I caught it and threw his ass outside. So back to what I was saying. There had to be at least one species of a boxer that Lomachenko faced. We're talking about 400 amateur fights, over 400 amateur fights, right? That's all I'm saying. Now, when you think about that, when they get in the ring this weekend and Lomachenko and Devin Haney start to square off, let me tell you, the first round may be a little interesting. I think Devin Haney's going to dominate most of that round with his jab, and Lomachenko just with his footwork and head movement. But I think probably the last minute of that round, Lomachenko's going to start closing the distance. Now, don't get me wrong, Devin Haney has like a 6-inch reach advantage. And once he throws his jab, he steps back half a step. He'll go out on angles. But I think he's going to see, right? One thing about Lomachenko that I've noticed, he steps with his opponent. His footwork is so amazing and so damn fast. He closes the gap so fast. And he can crack. You look at Lomachenko and think, man, this man doesn't hit hard. Lomachenko can crack. Okay? He has power, speed, footwork, everything, intelligence, everything. And he has levels to his game. Whatever you do, he does better and more. And what I think is going to happen in this fight, after round 1, round 2, I think by 4 and 5, I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I think we can see some frustration on Devin Haney's face. And I think we'll see some frustration out of his corner. And his dad can be quite animated at times. I think his dad's going to become animated. And it could get to the point where maybe his dad gets thrown out the corner. Because his dad's vocal, he may shout at the ref and carry on with the ref. He may get Norm. What's that guy Norm who used to be in, what's his name, John Ruiz? The guy out of Boston who picked up a title and Roy Jones wouldn't beat him. Remember that guy Norm? He got thrown out the damn corner of his fight for being too vocal. I could see Devin Haney's dad losing his cool, especially if they feel that Lomo is doing what they say about fighting dirty and punching on the break and doing these things that they say makes him a dirty fighter, which Lomachenko's not a dirty fighter, man. They're just trying to win the battle of mental warfare. And you can't come now and rustle the feathers of Lomachenko. You can annoy him, but you're not going to rustle his feathers. Okay, so it is what it is when it comes to calling him a dirty fighter. We all watch boxing. Most of you watching this video have seen Lomachenko fight. He's not no damn dirty fighter. Salido, when Lomachenko fought Salido, remember Salido beat him? Silvio didn't make the weight. He was fighting dirty. He was a damn pig in that ring. That is what you call being a dirty fighter. That is a dirty fighter. Lomachenko's not that. People saying Devin Haney's a dirty fighter. He clinches. That doesn't make Devin Haney a dirty fighter. All right, that's part of boxing. Okay, almost every fighter knows when to clinch. Some clinch more than others, you know what I mean? But tie up the arms, wrap their arm around their necks, all kind of crap they do. You know what I'm saying? It's for the referee to get control of that. But Devin's not a dirty fighter. Lomachenko's not a dirty fighter. Okay? But there is something that got my attention. I gotta wonder about Devin Haney. Did y'all hear about Devin? Devin Haney did that interview. He talks about he has wet dreams. Y'all hear that? Let me tell you something, man. That's something Devin Haney could have kept to himself. You know what I mean? That the testosterone builds up to a point to where this man just started having wet dreams. So he doesn't go 8 weeks now without ejaculating. I ain't gonna say having sex. I don't know what he's doing. That's his business. But what I'll tell you is, Devin Haney's bringing some frustrations into that ring. You know, I'll put it to you that way. And I don't know what his intentions are going to be coming into that ring. But I'll tell you what, I'd be a little pissed off too if I decided to lock off from a piece of the forbidden fruit for 2 months. Yo, yeah, he get in that ring, he may kill Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, Lomachenko don't talk about all that. Lomachenko just quiet, silent assassin. And he's just waiting for his opportunity with Devin Haney. But I think Devin Haney needs more than this jab, long right hand, clinch. You know, I'm going to tell you, I remember when Lomachenko... See, this is the thing. When these guys like Adrian Broner, Devin Haney, even what we're seeing now with Shushu Carrington, right? You see them as they're coming up, and they're fighting guys who really aren't on the level, and you can see their complete skill set. You can see these guys can do a whole lot in the ring. Devin Haney, I remember first watching him when he first signed the Matchroom. That first fight that he had, I remember seeing the stuff he was doing in the ring. I was like, amazing. Adrian Broner, amazing. Shushu Carrington, what we're seeing now, amazing. But you know what happens? It doesn't matter how many tools you have in your box as a boxer. Once you get in the ring with that species of boxer, that you can't do those things to, it doesn't matter how many tools you have in that box, you can't pull them all out and use them. You understand? You just can't do it because they don't allow you. So Devin Haney's now talking about his dad was dusting off the tools. We're going to bring all our tools out. We're going to have a toolbox. We're going to pull them all out for Lomachenko. No, that's what Lomachenko wants you to do. You come out there trying shit, and then he tranquilizes you. They need to keep this fight very, very basic, in my opinion. Lomachenko's not the kind of fighter you want to come to the ring with and try to get cute in there. No, don't do that. If you've never done a swivel jab, don't do it now. If you've never been a guy to really do a pull counter, catch and shoot, don't try it now. You understand? If you've never been a guy to get on the inside, don't try it now. You know what I'm saying? Uppercut, hook, roll off the ropes. Now you change positions, and then you unload on the guy. Don't try it now. I mean, I know Devin Haney has a lot of layers to his game, but as you move up in competition, you just can't show all of that. You understand? You just can't. Not against other elite fighters. It doesn't work that way. But when you're a guy like Lomachenko, who has all the experience he has, some people keep forgetting. They say, 17 fights. They ain't forgetting about that amateur experience. That's why Lomachenko can keep changing gears. Okay? He can keep changing gears. Very simple. Because he's been in with some of everything. Some of every style, height, guys who hit hard, don't hit hard, fast hands, from all over the world. As a matter of fact, I think it's kind of an injustice that they did to Lomachenko to start his professional career so late. Imagine Lomachenko probably should have had he had 17, he probably should have had 50 fights by now. But they decided to keep putting him through the Olympic programs, which is cool, and he handled business. But, it is what it is. But what I'm saying is, right, I think for Devin Haney, he's at a disadvantage going into this fight. And I feel it's 50-50, but I think Lomachenko is going to pull off the win. And I do. And I'm not saying it because Devin can't win. If Devin keeps it simple, he wins. I just don't like the fact that right now they're talking about all the tools and all the things they're going to have to do to win this fight. Let me tell you something. I just don't think that's the answer. I think they should be really disciplined in keeping this fight super simple. Okay, let me tell you, that long jab, that little half a step back, dropping that right hand on him, keeping him honest, making him respect your offense, making him think twice about just coming in, that's all he's going to need against Lomachenko. He tried to come in, the little quick feet explode, catch him with a hook, catch him with an uppercut, tie him up. You're the bigger, stronger guy. Devin Haney can win this fight. But I just, from what I'm hearing his dad say and all the things they want to put on display in the ring, he didn't do it with Kambosos. Why would you try? Why in the world would you even think to try that with Lomachenko? And it could be some gamesmanship on his dad's end. He's talking about the different things they want to do. We know those guys say a lot of stuff and get in the ring and do something different. But one thing that we do know, when it comes to people getting in the ring and doing something different, Lomachenko's not coming in there to try to do something we haven't seen. Because in every fight, he shows multiple layers to his game. And this is going to be a very interesting fight. Very, very interesting. I see some guys out here, man, posting stuff, and let me tell you, I'm not a guy who's just going to come out here because of what things I may have in common with a fighter on the surface, right? I'm strictly boxing over here. And I'm rooting for the young guy, Devin, because I like to see the young guys win. He's the youngest undisputed champion of this era. I'm not sure his dad is really prepared for what they're facing. I'm talking about with Bob Arum, and Bob Arum saying everybody should be betting on Lomachenko. I'm talking about what Lomachenko is fighting for. I'm talking about all that experience Lomachenko has dealing with guys like Devin Haney, with the style he brings to the ring. And Lomachenko, if he does start swallowing water, how he changes gears and adapts, and then you see him starting to get the edge and take over the fights. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a tough fight for Devin Haney. And it's very, very interesting. I'm rooting for the young man. But at the same time, I'm rooting for Lomachenko, man. Could you imagine making millions over here in this country from the sport that you love, you've been doing since you've been 6 years old? Go back to your home country, investing in your home country and trying to just basically set up the next couple of generations by just being smart, and to have it all taken away from you. That's rough, man. That's rough. So when it comes to that, man, I look at it like that, and I'm rooting for both of these guys. I think it's Devin Haney's fight to win if he keeps it simple. But it doesn't sound like they're going to do that. It sounds like to me they're already looking at some reasons to try to make excuses for a possible loss by saying he's dirty, etc. But I'm telling you right now, and this is how I feel, I just feel Devin Haney and his dad are going to see just how the secret society works when Devin Haney doesn't get this win and when he can't clinch. And it's going to be frustrating. And I anticipate seeing a meltdown in that corner of Devin Haney from his dad, especially if he feels like some things are happening that aren't being done fairly. But at the same time, it could go the other way. So as far as what's my prediction for the fight, I think the fans win. But I think Lomachenko I think everything's being stacked for Lomachenko to win. And that's just how I see it. But I think Devin Haney, if he keeps it simple, he wins. But I don't see how Devin Haney can beat Lomachenko. Not when you have the secret society working against you. Bob Arum already saying he feels people are dumb if they bet against Lomachenko. This is the last. I don't know if y'all caught that. Their contract is up after this fight, but then Devin Haney comes out and says their family over here, they love working with Bob Arum. But then in the interview, talking about, being a free agent and going and to where the best opportunities are and the money is. You got to be careful what you're saying, man. I just don't like it. I don't like something in my stomach tells me, man, Devin Haney, they're going to give it to him. They're going to give him the business. I'm just telling you. I could be wrong, and I'm cool with that. I'm just having a conversation with you. But that being said, the technical genius and brilliance of Lomachenko and 400 plus amateur fights and all of that experience in one trainer against Devin Haney, who's had 10 to 12 trainers over his career and has learned from a little bit from everybody. They had to take those two experience levels and now bring it together and let them clash. And you know what we may see in this fight? And I could be wrong. We may see a little bit of Mayweather in there. We may see a little bit of the Peterson brothers in there. We may see a little bit of all these fighters who worked under different trainers. We may see a little Kenny Porter in there, right? We may see a little bit from all these different fighters we've watched over the years. We may see a little bit of all that show up in Devin Haney this weekend, because I think he's going to need all that to win this fight, because that's just how complex of a fighter Lomachenko is and what Devin Haney's going to be facing. That being said, man, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. This fight boils down to 2 questions, man. Is Devin Haney ready for Lomachenko? Some say he is. I say he is. Keep it simple. Or is Lomachenko ready for Devin? Some say he's not. Too much going on in his country. I say that Ortiz fight set him up. The stuff going on in his country is going to motivate him. Everything that he lost financially, monetarily, I think that's going to motivate him. This has been his dream, and I think this is the opportunity. He doesn't want to get away from it for a second time because he doesn't want to reset and try to wait another 10 years to get all those belts. And that's going to make for a very, very exciting fight. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans in the breeze.